Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
What's up, Internet? Indie Invasion Podcast. Eric and Mac with you. Back. We're back after a little short break for life.
Back. I missed that song.
You missed that song? The woo, does it put you in the mood?
Yeah, all of them. It doesn't matter, right? It's all of them. It's cool.
We'll give it a little bit of time, and it looks like we already got our first
There's
comment
Doug.
on there.
Hello, Doug.
Welcome in. Welcome in. And we'll run through some banners here real quick because, man, I feel like I'm a little rusty.
From Adepticon. Clem,
yeah.
What's up, buddy? The Zinvader himself, right?
Yeah. Welcome into the fastest 40-ish. Well, we'll see tonight. Minutes in gaming. Can't do that one. And, yeah, we're doing something a little different tonight, guys. I know some of the guys saw that we scheduled this for Friday. Me and Mac were like, let's try something different. I mean, we want to try some different stuff after a little break. Got some ideas in the can that I'd like to do, but yeah, we'll see.
I have
Say
no
hello
ideas.
if you guys are jumping. No ideas? No ideas. Here, wait. You know what? We got to fix the universe right now, okay? There. Nope.
Oh, we did it at the same time? All right, I'm hands off. Hands free. Hands free. There you go.
See, we're so in sync still, even after the break, man.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. But here we are. Hey, there's Alder. How you doing, sir? Welcome.
And Alder, some of our regulars.
Hopefully you guys have been getting some gaming in, because I know I sure have not. Like my mice and my minis are not happy with me right now. Let's see. Playing some COD on the other screen. Okay. We're good. Hey, Tyler, we're good. Yeah, all the things were positive. Clem, everything was good. Had some stuff going on with the church building.
Yeah, you had a lot of family stuff and church, and just real life
some
stuff.
Moving. One of my kids is at a camp, and he's home for the weekend, but it's been back and forth with that, so it's been real busy with that. So
yeah. I mean, just to jump into it, I guess. Where have we been? That's what Mac's been doing, and we had Adepticon, and after Adepticon, which I do want to talk about at another time, because I got here. And since Doug's on here, he can attest that how many purchases I made.
But no, I don't believe that you bought anything at Adepticon. Oh my goodness! Listen, when you have to start bringing your own grocery bags to gaming conventions, you might have a problem.
That was like a workout. I felt swole after the end of that day, but so definitely want to talk about Adepticon and some of the things that I saw and did, and I've been trying to post some pictures up from that. But after Adepticon, man, I got hit in the face with the COVID, and that stuff was no joke. It was at least 2 weeks at home, and then probably another week, almost 2 weeks, to just get back to normal feeling, where you had that motivation where you wanted to get your butt up off the chair and actually do something. So
how well I remember.
That was pretty rough, and it's like, I wanted to do stuff for the show, and I'm home already. I wanted to come down and paint, and I was just like, nope.
Yeah,
just wasn't
there's
having
stairs involved with that, and that's too much effort when you don't feel good, man.
Yeah, it was a lot easier to take the little remote thing and say, oh, let's see what's on cable, and oh, look, this old house. Let's watch this old house and Bob Vila.
I think what you mean is, let's watch this old house for about 6-7 minutes, and then I'm going to fall asleep again.
Yeah, that first week that I had COVID, that's what happened a lot. It gave me a chance, though, to think about some stuff to do for the show since we're on break. Going into the summer kind of starts to get crazy for everybody with vacations and, kind of want to think of some different show ideas, stuff we could do for you guys, stuff for us to either make it easy to produce or just something fresh and new. To kind of keep us motivated back into it. I mean, you kind of get in that slump where you got so much else going on. You almost need something fresh and new to get you re-energized into, your gaming hobby. So if you guys have any ideas of things that you guys want to hear us chat about or try or do, feel free to send them, on all the different places, email, Discord, all that stuff, message us. Like I said, I got a couple ideas I think it'd be fun to do. That's a little bit different. We haven't done yet. Me and Mac will have to talk about it some more, but stay tuned for that stuff. And I think that's about it.
What's up, Matt?
I did want to give a shout out to one of our listeners who actually emailed us. It is Marcus. I believe I'm saying his first name is kind of a guess because I'm going off of his Discord, but he basically came up with some Drowned Earth scenarios, and I think he's running a summer campaign, and he wanted, us to take a look at it, just see what we thought. And so I wanted to give him a shout out and let him know that read them, looked very interesting. So we just got to digest it a little bit more and give our 2 cents to them. But yeah, that's kind of cool. That's one of the things I like about our community is that we can support each other and kind of those endeavors. And I think Discord's a perfect place for that.
I haven't read it, but I thumbed. Well, I guess I thumbed through it on the computer.
You flicked.
I flicked through it, but listen, the layout was super professional, right? I mean, it looked really good. It looked like it belonged in the back of the Drowned Earth rulebook. It looked really good, so I'm excited to read through it. And he's got at least the first scenario down to a 2x2 board, which a lot of the time, that just really speeds up a game. And for busy people, 2x2 and a shorter game makes it a whole lot more possible to get the game in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It keeps it. You can get engaged right away, which is one thing that, like, I can say when you're designing scenario, try to keep it like the first turn, you're right in it. So you're not wasting time moving or. There's a lot of games I remember playing, and I know Wild West Exodus, one of my favorites, had this issue where it's like you spend sometimes a turn, 2 turns just setting up your troops, and then all hell breaks loose, So, and I think that was one of the attractions when we first started looking at the independent games. A lot of them are 2x2, 3x3. That your minis. First turn, they're right in it. You just move that little bit, and all right, let's go.
And there you are. It's into the action immediately. Yeah, absolutely. 1,000,000,000%, like you said.
So let's see, what time are we? We jibber jabbered about 9 minutes, which is pretty good for us. Pretty good.
That's good. Well, we're a little out of practice. See, that's what it is.
We're a little rusty.
It's like there's so much to talk about, you don't even know where to begin. So you just don't begin. You just
don't make me go get those 2 bags again and show you how much there is.
Right.
But yeah, I came up with a couple news items. Man, there's so many things in the last month sitting at home and getting on the social media and looking at Kickstarter or, oh, look, there's some new release for this and new edition for this. I know. I only threw one in tonight, so I'm warning everybody now. Hide your wallets.
I saw the White Death Zombicide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. I
didn't either, and I have so much stuff, and I still every once in a while I go try to find Green Horde, but
that's hard to find. That's the most popular one, probably.
Yeah. But I just wanted to add it to the collection, partly because the only thing I've done gaming wise for the past month was go through all of my boxed games like Zombicide, Rum and Bones, Recon, core space,
Organize
all the
it.
box games that I got. No, my printer's been running like crazy. I've been printing token holders, and like I did it for Betrayal, for Rail Raiders, for all my Zombicides, you know, dice holders, card holders, peg holders. Just...
Well, you know what? I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about miniatures game, and they said so many of us that are miniature gamers feel guilty because we don't spend a lot of our hobby time on the table with that game. But they brought up the point that it's really about how you want a hobby. And actually, a lot of people don't really play the game much. They're part of the game, that game, particular game is maybe just modeling and painting, you know? So that to them is the game. And there's many games that I've maybe played once and owned the game for years, but I just enjoy painting the minis, you know, and building them.
It makes me think of like the pro painters. It seems to me, now I don't know any pro painters, but it seems to me that they're always so busy painting. How would they even have time to play? You know, who are you pointing at?
You, pro painter.
Me? Oh no, I'm all about bulk, man. I'm all about bulk. It's all about volume. If I can knock out a whole Zombicide box set of zombies in a week, I'm doing good.
Oh, I'd be afraid to even attempt that with all the sets I got.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, I went with the film noir feel. I primed them all black, dry brushed them white, and added some blood and, you know, some. That's
even better than the 1, 2, 3 dip method.
And basically, that's what I did. Basically, and then I got all of the speed paints.
Oh man.
And
that new set just came out too. So
yeah, then I went back and added color, so they pop a little bit. But you know, you're right. You're spot on, because those pro painters, some of those guys that I watch, like Brush Warrior and Miniac, and those guys. How do you even have time to play when you do it that?
Yeah, most of your time's the hobby. So
but that's what they love. Yeah, that is their thing. And Clem says, "This is mine right here, man. I've been living this one since the old Rogue Trader days. Is the 3-foot rule. If it looks good at arm's length, it's good enough to play."
That's what I tell my wife about me. Good enough at arm length.
So that's just where she keeps you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, if that works.
Take those off, maybe squint.
She does have glasses. You just tell her to take her glasses off.
Take your glasses off.
You tricked her? No, come on now. But yeah, it is. It's all those different parts of the hobbies. But you dug up a few new things that came out.
I got some news items for you guys. So, like I said, hide your wallets. And
you don't have to hide your wallet on the first one, because the first one's not expensive.
No, that's true. Yeah. So the first one is something that, man, we covered this a long time ago, didn't we? And it's a game. Was it?
This was our first transition where I was like, all right, don't you dare make a miniatures tabletop game where you take away my dice.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I said, all right, I'm going to try it. We're doing this show and everything, so I got to at least give it a chance. And I really, really liked the rule set, and actually got introduced to it because Peter with Demented Games and Twisted does some of the artwork and layout stuff for Mana Press. And that was kind of how all of that connected. But anyway, there it is. Second edition of Tribal.
Yeah. And this is Mana Press's website, you guys. So it's a little bit more. It's Australian company. So and they've added a couple new things to this edition. It's been a while since we've looked at the first edition, but it kind of looks like they've taken rules that they've developed in the series and just kind of reapplied them to the very first book. Let's see, like they've added like new skills and elite skills for your units and characters. And then they have like some faction and historical setting rules. But yeah, like Mac, you mentioned that this is a game that was one of those where like, how is this going to work? And you got it and tried it. It uses a deck of cards. Very, there's not too many games out there that uses a deck of cards.
Not in the way Mana Press does, because the length of the card is your movement.
That's right. Yeah.
You're playing a hand. So, I mean, it is literally, that deck of cards is everything that you need besides your table and your minis, which I know we all love chucking dice, and I was an orc player back in the day, so I loved chucking thousands of dice at one time. But for not using them, it was very, very, very cool. It's worth checking out, especially if you like pulp minis, because it's very, very pulp mini oriented.
It's agnostic. You can use whatever you want for your tribes, your war bands. And what I thought was neat, that it was pre-gunpowder. So a lot of the rules were your bow and arrows, your spears, tomahawks, kind of, you think of those very, primal type of weapons that your pure tribes would have.
Absolutely. And that's the premise of tribal. So it's cool. It's worth checking out, and it's worth having in your library. Especially if you already have some tribal type minis, whether they're Indians or like Polynesians or Maori or anything like that, whatever it is. If you have any of those models already, and you don't need a lot of them, so it's a cool game. It's definitely worth checking out. And the second edition, I'm sure, is going to be some nice refinements in it. So
and here's another option for you guys if you're interested in the book. This is a stateside brigadegames.com. They have it there. It's $22 for a soft cover book. I think they said it's like comic book size.
Hey, this is actually one of those ones that Alder can get easier from the manufacturer than we can.
He can actually use this one.
That's right. He can use that website.
But yeah, and I mean, Mana Press, they have all their other ones if you want to check out their other in the tribal series, where they do introduce gunpowder and stuff. So, but that is a new one out by Mana Press. And then next on the list was a game from our buddies over at Blacksite Studios. Now, this one is put out by their studio painter, Malev, and it's a micro game. They call it a micro game in the sense that you're basically, you're bored. You're just using this little small gridded board, and it's a game that basically it's got 3 phases in the game where you're basically using, they call it pulse dice, to roll and perform actions to go through these phases and try to achieve objectives to survive the demon ship. And demon ship is
coming out of the warp.
Yeah, you need 1 mini, and you generate aliens, monsters that you fight on the board, which basically represents a different room in the ship. So you're going from room to room, trying to turn on power, and then you're trying to find a computer access point so you can initiate like an escape pod type of thing, and then you got an escape, and in the whole process, survive. So it's a real quick, fast-paced game. You're using D6s, and it's just boom, boom, boom. You can probably crank out a couple games in a night just because of the footprint.
And Malev is, and I'm pretty sure that's not his real name. I think that's just his handle.
That's his online name, yeah.
But he also did a whole lot of stuff with Relic Blade with Sean Sutter. He did a whole bunch of stuff with him. So if you're familiar with Relic Blade, you'll be familiar with that. And that's very true, Raul. It does sound like Event Horizon. I loved that movie. They had terrible reviews, but I loved that movie.
Well, that was basically Cthulhu in space.
Oh yeah, it was like it was like Cthulhu, and the ship came out of the warp. Okay, it was 40K straight out of the warp. It even kind of had the look. But yeah, I've been eyeballing that one. I think I want to pick that one up because
it's pretty.
Where I'm at in my gaming at the moment is that's something I could do.
Yeah, because it's solo. I mean, they have a starter box for $40 where you get minis. I mean, you can use whatever minis you want, but you get the rule book and tokens. And then they have the blinged out terrain that I was telling you guys about. And it's pretty cool. Wait.
You're saying that Blacksite Studio made some terrain to go along with one of their games? That's insane. They never do anything like that. That's crazy talk. What?
But it's just cool. This is modular, to make up the different rooms. And then when you're done playing, it just packs back up in that, and you can put it on the bookshelf type of thing.
That. I really like that. That might be something I want to look at. I have a sneaking child. Go ahead. You want to walk in front of the camera with no shirt on?
See some pecs in the
Huh? During the movie? Okay.
But yeah, they got a couple cool little survivors that you can get, and they got a little game dashboard to keep track of what's going on, like with your dice and all that stuff. And yeah, this looks like a lot of fun.
Look what I found.
Hi, Mr.
Hey, what's going on, bud?
You're on internet, right? You're live, baby.
Say hi to the wild world.
He's gone. He's like, no, that's long enough, man. I can't do anymore. Done. Yeah, that one actually looks really cool. Like that's something that I would jump on all of the little bits and pieces just because it's so compact. And I listen, I can find an excuse to get a game, and apparently it being compact is the excuse for that one.
Now this one's all on pre-order, but it's I think they're going to be shipping in May, like late May, I think it is.
So
maybe even
right around the corner.
Yeah. So that's one to pick up. And they also do have a digital format for this, which is cool. So if you are, out of the States, you don't want to pay that hefty shipping fee, just get the digital. You can print it out yourself type of thing, a 3D printer. And I mean, the terrain itself, you can use whatever you want. It's just, you can even just draw it on a piece of paper and you're good to go type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but that is Demon Ship. Check that one out, guys. And then the last one I got for you guys tonight is a Kickstarter. Now, yes, this one is supposed to be, they're slated to be delivered October, I think. But this was one, I actually came across this at Adepticon. And this is actually a game designed by the same designer of Gaslands. So this is Mike Hutchinson's Hobgoblin. It's a brutal fantasy battle game that it's your large rank and file type game. It's going to be agnostic. So basically you can use your Warhammer guys if you want. It doesn't matter what they are. You can just throw them together. But what's cool about this is that he's designed this so it's quick, fast. It's 5 turns basically. And they have a really cool force build mechanic in here that, it's points, but you can adjust the points by giving your units flaws or benefits that give them a buff or actually will hinder them a bit. And that will kind of lower the cost. Yeah. So it's meant to be fast paced. You're rolling D6s. It's just based on this unit versus this unit. You need 4s to hit. And then once the units reach a threshold of like say 10, which is equal to their courage, I think there's like 5 stages in the game, they can break and then they basically run off the battle type of thing.
Right.
But check out the Kickstarter. They have actually downloadable quick start rules in there. Mike did a couple videos that gives you a quick like demo of how the game works. It's kind of neat. It's based on the keywords, which is kind of neat. And
that might be something that fills that void of the old Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Yeah, you can still have your big, large battles, but it's 5 turns and it's like quick.
What was it? Is it Kings of War? Is that the one that is super miniature agnostic, but it has a bunch of miniatures that people like everybody has rebirthed their fantasy battle army into those games and then added a bunch of the newer Age of Sigmar stuff to it too. I think that's what it is. They do
Yeah.
I may be mixing up the name, but they do a big tournament of that at Siege of Augusta every year. Always has a big turnout. Has great tables, fantastic looking armies. Particularly considering the size of the convention, it's not massive, but the armies on parade, if you will, are pretty good. There's some fancy ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is one of those games that it's going to be inexpensive to jump into.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a digital backer where you get the rule book, you get a special miniature STL and print and play cards.
Well, especially if you're already a fantasy player and
yeah,
you're sitting on, like, you have your whole undead army.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm sorry, you were old. You were a newer school Fantasy Battles player. You have the Tomb Kings.
Well,
I had them back when they were just the undead.
And then I got when they separated, so I got the separate vampire army too. Right. So
I just had mummies and vampires all at once. It's glorious.
Yeah, it does look interesting. Game. I mean, for $52, you get the hardcover, and like they have these things in here. It's called. They do have magic, but it's very simple magic that each turn I think they're actually calling it mana. You're generating mana to perform spells, but then they also have like fortune cards. That's a one-off card. You know, you have a hand of them, you play it, it does its thing, and then it's done.
I thought you were going to say fortune cookies. I don't know why, but in my head you were going to say fortune cookies.
Oh, no. So yeah, I think I'm going to check this out because I mean, you know, we know the writer. We're fans of Gaslands. I'm curious to see how this works. You know, it's bringing something different to these large scale games, which a lot of people don't like large scale games anymore because they do take all day. They're claiming 2 hours, you're done, you know, type of thing in here because it's so brutal and fast.
And you know, I mean, Warhammer's still hitting like crazy, so people are playing the long games.
Yeah. And with some of the news drops they had, I'm like,
Going back to the dark side.
Yeah, I still have all the stuff, so it's kind of like an easy way for old players to get back into it.
That's true.
If you guys don't know, they're planning on putting rules for free online. So it's something I think players have been beating at the door for a while now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this art is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of that Mork Bork. You know, it's kind of the dark,
kind of old school D&D too.
Yeah.
Old school red book, blue book.
So yeah, that's another one for you guys to check out. Like I said, this one's Kickstarter. October is what they're slated at. Now, granted, it is just a book and cards if you get the physical. But they do have some unlocked add-ons. You can add additional stuff. You can get custom dice with the bag. Of course, who doesn't want more dice in a dice bag? Doom dials, which is something that the units get when they take damage. And look at this cool mini that you can get, 78 millimeters tall, who is, I guess, the main character on the rule book.
Nice.
Grook.
Well, and as Alder said, not only is the logo pure metal, but the model is pure metal. He's probably resin, but you know what I mean.
Paint them like metal.
Paint them.
But yeah, check that one out. Check out the other stuff like these. This one, how many more days does this one have? This one I think has got like 18 days left.
Oh,
it's already funded. They've smashed through their goal of 12,500. They're almost at 50 right now. So our good friend, I see Jim, the tabletop engineer,
who also just had a birthday, just in case.
Yes, happy birthday, Jim.
That's right, a little late happy birthday for you.
But yeah, check that one out. The other ones are available now. You just have to find a place that will work for you guys for ordering it.
Yeah, man.
And get to some fun gaming. But yeah, we tried to keep it to just 3 for you guys. Take it easy on the wallet. I know you guys yell at us. You made us buy more games, but you know, it's all fun, right?
We did not make you. We just gave you the valid excuse.
Hey. I got a cool
That's
rule
good.
book in here.
Watches here for you, man. You want to buy a watch? Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, do you want to take us out, sir? Because
man, I'll give it a try. I don't know if I can. It's been so long, but I'll sure give it a try. Let's try it. Let's see what happens here. Guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Indie Invasion Shorts. We sure appreciate it. Sorry for the long break, but hey, we're back and we'll see what happens from here, right? So
yeah.
As we expand the gaming universe one game at a time, check out those 3 newer games coming up. We're sure that you will like them. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of the podcast platforms, iTunes, Google Podcast, all that stuff, and you can pick up and listen to whatever it is we're doing. Also, check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Most important, hit us up over on Discord. Hasn't been too busy lately, except for Marcus posting a few things about his campaign that he's working on for the Drowned Earth, but hopefully we'll get that back up to speed just a little bit. Also, you can check us out at indieinvasion@gmail.com. You can shoot us an email if you would like. We also have a Patreon you can check out if you'd like to support, if you like what we're doing. And the most important and most fun thing is you can check us out on Redbubble, where you can get your sweet Indie Invasion merchandise, hats, jackets, shower curtains, watches, iPhone covers.
I think Clem's ordered it all by now at this point.
I think he probably has. I think he has. But that is all we've got for you guys tonight. Unsure about the day thing, Clem. We will certainly let everybody know. Eric and I will hash that out and figure out where we're going from here after the long break. But
yeah,
until next week, guys,
we figured Friday would be good.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you can get some stuff to the table this weekend. And as always, remember to prepare yourself for the invasion. Take it away, Eric. You're on the beat.